So in the shop here, we have 3 more Mountain Maxes. That one's just the parts one. That's all kinds of foobarred. We're gonna use a whole bunch of parts off of it, including the chain case as the main reason we got it. Because this one, the chain case exploded and it's in pieces down there in the bottom. I'll probably get some better video on of it, but it's in pieces. And then this one, the driver bearings are in really, really bad shape, and I think it messed up the tunnel a little bit. So we gotta do that. And then all of the parts, except for we got new bearings somewhere for this one, but all of the parts other than just the bearings are coming from this sled. And then outside, I'm not gonna open the door, but outside we've got other sleds that need work. And that's the goat, who acts more like a dog. Yeah. So that's what we're gonna do. So the chain case is off, and we have discovered that as we were correct in the chain case is exploded and probably no longer usable, because you're not putting a bearing in that ever again without some major repairs. What happened is the drivers are not connected anymore, and the drive shaft decided to break in half, so it went crooked in here. And then that's why the chain case exploded. So it's not the chain case's fault, it is the driver's. So good thing we got this part sled here, and it just means that we have to do more work than we wanted to, but chain case isn't that hard to remove. The hardest parts can be replacing that drive shaft, which it's not like ridiculously difficult. Found the root of our problem. So the driver snapped in half, okay, you can see that, and the chain case exploded, and you can see that. And in figuring that out, when I pulled the drivers out of this side, no bearing came out, and there should be a bearing there. So this was in here like this, and then on the other side of that is a bearing and all that good stuff. Well, when there's no bearing in there, it means that the bearing's bad, and you can see how that's all ovaled and stuff. That's not supposed to be that way. So what happened is this bearing went out, and then the shaft seized up, and then it broke the drive shaft, and then it broke the chain case. So check your drive shaft bearings so that that doesn't happen. Thing torn apart. We got some new parts. We got this guy, which is the new it's like bearing retainer housing or something like that. That's the part number for it right there. You can still get them. We got this through our local Yamaha dealer. They had one sitting on the shelf. They're getting harder to get, but you can still get them. So we're going to put a new one of those in. We've also got a new bearing kit, which this is it right here. We got that from All Balls. That's the part number there. And that is the bearing for this side of the drive shaft, and then this bearing here, and the seal that goes on there. And so the seal rides on this guy right here, which this just comes right off, so don't lose it. But that's what your seal rides on. Make sure that's smooth, can't catch your fingernail on it or nothing like that. And then this bearing, this one just feels a little crummy, and since we have it all the way apart, it makes a lot of sense to change it. There's also this bearing here. This one feels good, and it doesn't get quite as much, I mean, it gets just as much wear on it, but it's not as harsh. So we should replace that one too, but we're not gonna, so because I don't have it and I want to put this sled together. We also have all the new, that's the new timing cover case deal. This is the old one. We're gonna hold on to it for a little while, but I have a feeling that it's never getting used again. We got all of the gears that came out of this sled, which are still in good shape. We're gonna use those, and all the brake hardware and all that good stuff probably, and the drive shaft and the drivers. The drivers are in better shape on this because on this one, specifically this driver got all mangled in the track. So we're gonna do that. This is the old bearing race, so this is how your bearing sits on the drive shaft right here. This is the old one that's all mangled, and then that's what the seal rides on, and that's what's left of the seal on that other one. So yeah, I'm gonna take that chain case, put the new bearing in it, and then gonna attach. You got to rivet on the little housing deal, so I got to get the old rivets out of there and then rivet on the new one, and then we will start putting it all back together. And the hardest part is getting the drive shaft in there with your track up in there, especially when you're by yourself. So we'll see if I can do it. So we got the bearing and seal installed. It's easiest if you freeze the bearing and then heat up the case, then you won't have to tap it in like I did. I did put this out in the snow for a while, and I put this in front of the heater, and that made it slide in a lot easier. But it's even easier if you actually let the case get like really, really warm and the bearing get like really, really cold.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy. Hold my beer for a minute, I'm about to quit my job, cash in for a ticket. I'm going on a trip and I don't plan to visit. I'm gonna stay there till I feel like I'm winning, and this is just the beginning. I need a big change, help me feel like living. I need a big swing, home runs I'm hitting, and I'll never look back, moving on till I get it all. And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it? To fight, to die on, and this is my game to play, to claim a brand new name, and I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm a bit nervous that I might screw everything up that I've ever done, but what's the point of living if you ain't having fun? I guess I'll try this, try that, might miss, gotta find what I'm good at. I guess I look here, look there, over where am I scared, where am I at? I gotta make it in this life, whatever makes me happy, know I'm doing things right. Sipping in the summer on a goose and Sprite, or find a nightclub for the end of the night, And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it, how you gonna move for it, what you gonna be, and do you believe you can do anything, but what you gonna do for it, how you gonna move for it.
Alright, so I just took it for a little test ride down the driveway and back. It's just one big sheet of ice, so I can't really ride it through any powder or anything like that. We don't have enough, but everything was good. We might have to address some of these rear bogies here later in the season, but they're all right. We put this little plastic piece on, changed it out for the Yamaha mud flap. I didn't show you guys doing the speedometer cable, but I did the speedometer cable on it. Oh, I didn't even check to see if that was working. Put new arms on it because the other ones were both pretty mangled. So these ones are in way better shape. They look almost new, and the bushings in them are really good. So we put those on. New rear axle because the old one, the nut stripped out. Those are aluminum. This is an aluminum threaded piece, and so if you're not careful, it'll strip them out. And even if you are careful, sometimes it strips them out. So they got stripped out, and so I had to swap the whole rear axle and put that new bearing retainer plate in there. That's done. Brand new chain case in there. Not brand new, but new to this. Here, I'll take a gander down in there. So, new chain case to this sled, all new bearings and drive shaft. Readjusted the park brake cable. My shovel's in there. Yeah, so put an extra spare belt in there because the one that was in there was mangled. And got all the pipes back on, and everything's good to go. So this sled is now ready for the season. So now we just gotta fix pull cord on this guy. That one needs just a little bit of love. It needs some new ice scratchers. Chain case oil needs changed, and the gas gauge isn't working for some reason. This one needs a carb kit. It doesn't need one, but it's gonna get one. Then we've got some over here. That Arctic Cat needs a pull cord, and this Yamaha, we're not 100% sure. It's having electrical issues, so it's on its third ECM in a year. So yeah, we got something going on there. And then in here we got this one, which is just the parts sled, and then this guy needs some bearings for the drive shaft as well, but it didn't get as bad as that other one, so that one's going to get worked on. I'm going to clean the shop up quick first though, because it's just a disaster in here. And then we got a couple of plastic pieces to do on the skidoo that's on the trailer, and then there's that skidoo, but we're not even going to get into that one. That one's a big mess. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys.